And action. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Action Podcast. And today I have my special guest with me, Lauren Cardiel, who is in for my sick brother, Peter, who was not able to see any movies this week. And we thought, why have a guy that's not going to watch any movies when we can get Lauren Cardiel back in action today? And so today we'll be reviewing DC League of SuperPets. Lauren and I will be debating our top 5 animated villains of all time in honor of DC League SuperPets. And then I'll do a quick review on the movie Vengeance by BJ Novak. So with that being said, Lauren, what is your thoughts on DC League of SuperPets? Should the folks go see it?
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I thought it was, the kids are going to love it. We saw it in 40X. So that kind of added like a different element. It was like super interactive, and we had water splashing us and like all the fun action scenes with the characters. Our seats were like, I felt like I was practically going to fly out of my seat, but it was really cute. The kids really liked it. I'm not like a DC superhero girl. So, I thought it was just going to be about pets, and it wasn't. It was about Superman, and then there was a little bit of Wonder Woman and, some of the other DC superheroes. So I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was just going to be purely about, a dog and his, I thought the pets were going to be the superheroes. Yeah. So it was a little bit different than what I expected, but I liked it. There were some like DC like little references that I actually got, and so I thought it was really cute. And I think that especially if there's parents out there that are, fans of the DC universe, I think they'll, probably catch way more little jokes and inside references. So I think that, it's a cute movie to watch with your kids.
Yeah, for sure. I pretty much agree with you on all those levels. I've always mentioned this, I'm not necessarily the hugest fan of animated films, but I like the concept. I thought it was a nice concept. I thought Dwayne Johnson actually did a really good job. He was really funny and, really had that, kind of, did a nice job with the dog and, really kind of holding that character. And there's a part of me, and they had a couple of lines that, kind of aggressiveness comedy where they like bleeped out a cuss word, which I like.
Oh,
and
my kids love that. Yeah. Jackson thought that was the most hilarious thing, and I wasn't expecting that, and it happened like multiple times throughout the movie. So it definitely drew big laughs from my son on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I enjoyed that part. One of my criticisms of the film, and it's more of just wanting more. So, I don't like to rip films apart just to rip things apart. But, when you have a guy like Kevin Hart, who is an A-list level, both actor and comedian, I just wanted more out of him. I don't know if it was just maybe not the right role for him, but I just didn't feel like it was super Kevin Hardy. And
I totally agree. But I thought it was too Kevin Hardy. Like, what I love most about animated films is, yes, like now they have like these big screen names attached to, the animated films doing the voices. They want to draw in a crowd. But I love it when I can go to a film, and I think I said this on our Toy Story episode, where I love when I can go sit down and watch an animated film, and then at the end or at the beginning when I see the credits and coming and who's in the movie, and I go, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was that voice. Or like when I was looking, I didn't know John Krasinski was Superman. Like that didn't scream John Krasinski from the screen. But anytime Kevin Hart voices an animated character, it's like it's Kevin Hart talking like a dog again, and I don't like that.
Yeah, I think maybe that's where maybe they should have gone a different direction. Maybe didn't make him a dog and make him a different character, because they also have that he's in that other cartoon, right? Something Pets.
Secret Life of Pets.
Life of Pets. Is this related to that at all? I don't actually.
No.
I didn't research that. Okay.
No, but it is. I mean, close your eyes and it's same movie, same voice, same character.
So I think maybe that, maybe could be something that I thought maybe could have worked better. But again, I thought he was fine, just not, honestly, I just thought you kind of wasted your money with him because to me, it's either, if you're going to hire this guy, let him be the guy and let him be Kevin Hart and go all out in it. You know what I mean? I just felt he felt a very reserved role for him. And, I just wanted more from him, but I thought like Dwayne Johnson, I thought hit the spot on this one, and it fit what he can really execute. And he was funny, and he nailed that role. It was kind of a similar role to like Central Intelligence. That his role was very similar to that. And so I thought he worked really well, and all the other voices I thought were great. Vanessa Bayer was funny, and she was Wonder Pig.
I really liked
Kate McKinnon was excellent.
Kate McKinnon. That was a good little villain.
Yeah,
for the movie. I thought she did a really good job with that, and I love that like the SNL alumni are getting so much work nowadays. So I thought that was really cool. And then there's a cat. I don't know who voiced the cat, but there's a little cat in the film, and I think my kid said that the name was Whiskers. And it's that little cat that comes out, and instead of like hacking up hairballs, she's hacking up grenades. And the kids that was like their favorite part too. They love that cat.
The cat. I mean, Natasha Lyonne was also in this. She was
the turtle. Mm-hmm.
Right. Mark was Ben Schwartz was one of the guinea pigs.
There's a cat named Whiskers.
Okay. Winona Bradshaw.
Yeah, I don't know that. Well, I mean, I don't think there was a ton of like, the cat wasn't doing like too much voice work, but
she looks like she's a young actress, so it was her first role. So
but it was really cute. The kids really, really liked that one.
Yeah, but overall, my take is, if you're into definitely kids, I think kids are gonna like this movie. I think it's a solid B in this movie. I don't think it's one of the greatest films of all time, but I think it's worth watching, and with your family, especially if they're into like superhero stuff. I think this kind of knocks a few genres. I don't think this is as good as like the Lego Movie or any one of those. I think the humor in those ones is probably a little bit tighter. But I think this is a very solid movie, and definitely recommend it if you're into those movies. So where would you rate this, Lauren? And this is kind of impromptu, but where would you rate this? Like, there's been a few animation films that have come out in the last 6 months. Well, what month we're in? 8 months, I guess now. In the last 8 months. So in 2022, where would you put this out of all the movies? I mean, we've had Gru, Rise of the Minions, we've had Lightyear, we've had Paws of Fury, we've had what else would there be? Turning Red.
Okay. It would probably, for me, because I'm not like the DC comic universe girl, it would probably go at the bottom part of my list. I really enjoyed, the Minion movie. I enjoyed Turning Red. This one, I can sometimes doze off during these children's movies. I'll admit that. And had I not been sitting in those chairs that were flinging me around the entire time, I may have dozed off during this one. So I would say it's probably more towards the bottom of my list.
Got it. Yeah, I would say I probably enjoyed this maybe slightly more than Lightyear. So I'd probably put it around there. Lightyear, Paws of Fury, I'd put it kind of around there. I think Minions is probably the best one I've seen.
Yeah.
Turning Red, I thought was like well crafted, but I'm not gonna probably ever watch that again.
We watch it. We've probably seen it about 20 times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't ever really need to see that movie again. So I probably like this maybe slightly more than Turning Red, but I can see maybe people liking Turning Red a little bit more. What was the other one that came out? I probably liked it more than Encanto. What other Disney one came out?
There was like another one, The Bad Guys.
Oh, bad guys. Yeah, I probably like
That
him.
I really like. I like the bad guys. I thought
You
that
like
was
bad guys more than this one. Okay.
yeah. I like the bad guys
I
more than
like
this
this slightly more than I probably like this simply more than bad guys only because I liked probably the DC aspect of it. So it's kind of
one.
cool,
Yeah.
you know, seeing the animated stuff. So okay, cool. Yeah, I just wanted again just trying to give the audience a little perspective on kind of where this ranks because I think that always helps. Obviously everybody has different opinions when it comes to certain movies. Certain movies connect with other people, but I still like to give people kind of an idea of where things are at. Okay. So with that, we only got one list for today, and we want to do our top 5 best animated villains of all time. And so, Lauren, I'll start with you. Go ahead and give us your top 5.
Oh gosh. Okay, so we'll start it off with Scar from The Lion King. And I think just everything about him, like, even for being like an animated character, just the way he kind of look like he kind of just, you can almost picture him like going from animated character to like a live action character. And just, I think it was like his deep voice also like contributed to just that, like that creepiness factor. And then, obviously here's this grown man trying to, kill off his brother and kill off his poor little nephew just to try and be the king. And then, like any good villain does, he had his little gaggle of hyena minions. So I just think he was a really great, like dark character. And that is why he's number 5.
Nice.
Number 4 is the evil queen from Snow White. That film and that character still probably give me nightmares. It's like a double villain. You're getting that queen aspect of that mother who, is jealous of the beauty of her daughter, and she again wants to kill her off. Disney has it's like kids, but then all this killing going on. And then, she turns into that old lady. And that old lady, man, she, again, very scary looking to me, very evil, that voice. I will not get on the ride at Disneyland because when that lady pops out at me, I can't take it. So that is number 4. Number 3, probably one of my favorites. I don't think she's bad enough to be number 1, but number 3 is definitely my favorite. Ursula from The Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. Again, just kind of that voice. She had that like voice and that swagger of like, you want to trust her because she's going to help you. But then, I think before Ariel realized that, wait a second, this isn't my friend trying to help me. It was too late for her. So, and it always helps when a villain gets, a good musical number to kind of show her villainous ways. So I really love Ursula. Number 2 is Lotso Hug and Bear from Toy Story. And again, just one of those villain stories where they start by being your friend and being so cute and cuddly. And then, it's that part of the animation where you see they're this sweet, cute teddy bear character that smelled good. And then all of a sudden there just something happens and like his smile just starts to turn evil and you realize, and then there's that other point in the movie where you think he's reformed and, oh my gosh, he's going to be friends with Woody and Buzz now. And they're all trying to get out before they burn to death. And then what does he do? He does something and all the toys are looking at him like, wait, what? Like you betrayed us. So very, very sneaky, very cute, but evil little guy.
Yeah.
And then number 1,
Ned Beatty, by the way.
What's that?
Voiced by Ned Beatty.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Again, one of those ones that you never expect that voice to be that actor. I love that. And number 1, this is a Cardiel collaboration. So this is for John Cardiel. Number 1 is Gru from the Despicable Me and Minions franchise. And Gru is such a cute little character. And, recently, I'm sure, I know you reviewed the rise of Gru. So that kind of shows like, you know, why he wanted to be a villain. And, you know, for some reason in life, that was like his main goal is to be a villain. So that movie was really cute because it showed like, you know, his origin story of how he became a villain, and not necessarily the best villain out there, but definitely the one that tried the hardest. He definitely wanted to be a villain most out of probably everyone here on this entire list. So we give him the A for effort, although I think his villainous tactics were unsuccessful most of the time. So that is my list.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's a great list, and you combine kind of the classics with some new ones, so that's excellent. Yeah, so my list is gonna be slightly different, but kind of along similar theme. So I went with number 5, and I mainly went with them just because I love this actor, and I went with Megamind, which was voiced by Will Ferrell, and only because I love Will Ferrell. You know, and I have a couple of honor mentions, but yeah, I put him just mainly because of Will Ferrell, and you gotta put Will Ferrell there. My number 4, I put Jafar from Aladdin. You know, he was an evil dude, and you know, Aladdin is one of my favorite animated films of all time, and so typically you have to have a very good villain in order to execute that, and Jafar I think fits that bill. And then the rest of my list is really about also historical significance. So I preface that. So like my number 3 is Cruella de Vil. And, you know, she's iconic in so many different ways, but, you know, she's also had spinoffs, her own movies, you know, and to me, that's always, again, a great sign of a villain that's also has star power. And so, you know, she's had multiple iterations of her done. So that's why she's my number 3. My number 2 is your number 1, which is Gru. And Steve Carell, just an excellent character. And again, that's what makes that film kind of unique, is that ambition to be so evil. And, you know, Steve Carell is just a perfect voice for that. My number 1, again, I think maybe the most famous villain of all time, and that's Maleficent, you know, for Sleeping Beauty. And again, she's gotten a sequel with Angelina Jolie, or 2 movies, you know, on her own from Angelina Jolie on live action. And then, you know, there's actually, they haven't done another iteration of Sleeping Beauty, right? It's just the one animated film?
Correct.
Okay. They might have had some direct-to-video movies, but yeah, I mean, it's just such a huge character, and, you know, super iconic. So that's why I put Maleficent number 1. So awesome. Well, good list, Lauren. You know, you win today since you have no competition. So good job. And then, yeah, so the last part of our podcast today is Vengeance. And so Vengeance is a new film written and directed by BJ Novak, who's also starring in that. And BJ Novak is, of course, from The Office. He played Ryan in that TV show. And I really like this film. I thought this was like sneaky good. This is just one of these films that, you know, don't get a lot of publicity and all that, but it's just a great kind of quirky comedy, dark comedy, I guess you'd probably classify it as. And it was super entertaining. And you know, BJ Novak, who wrote many episodes, he was, you know, one of the head writers on The Office. But, you know, his writing skills are definitely apparent in this. He crushes it acting wise. And then, you know, Ashton Kutcher is really good in this as well. And yeah, just overall, I thought it was a really interesting concept. The movie is ultimately about a guy that hooked up with a girl that ends up dead, but the family thinks that they had a more serious relationship than he knew. And so he ends up going to the funeral, and then, you know, they don't think she overdosed. She thinks she actually was murdered. And BJ Novak's character is also trying to kind of take the next step in his career and become a writer. And he ultimately pitches this podcast to Issa Rae, who's great in this as well. And ultimately, she's a producer for a top podcast. And ultimately, he options this story about how people, you know, handle grief. And so he interviews all the family members. So that's kind of like the initial premise. And then he goes on this kind of this interviewing process of interviewing the family and all that stuff. So this movie's got a little little heartfelt stuff. I don't want to give away any more than that, but it's just like an interesting tale, kind of a unique story. You know, there's not a lot of kind of stories that are structured this way, you know, but it's very relevant in today's world. And again, I think it's definitely worthwhile if you can see it in theaters. I mean, it's not one you necessarily need to see in theaters because it's just kind of a simple, straightforward one, but you know, support the smaller films if you can. But if not, definitely check it out streaming when it comes on streaming. So yeah, I actually highly recommend this one. Again, very, very good film. High 80s, I'd probably give it. Just mainly limited for its subject matter. I thought it executed very well. So there's not much I would quote unquote change or upgrade on it. It's just, you know, I think there's different, not all films are created equal. So I think this film for what it is, I think is excellent. So yeah. So that's about it, Lauren.
Well,
thank you for coming on. Thank you for substituting for my brother Pete. And,
no one could ever substitute for Pete.
This is true. But yeah, if you want to see Lauren's other podcasts that she's been in our Toy Story podcast, as well as that's the only one that's been released, right? And then you'll see her next. Besides this one, you'll see her next in our Princess Bride movie review podcast, which will be coming out in August. So stay tuned for that, and make sure, like always, you subscribe and like and share. We're on all the major podcast network, including Apple and Spotify. And then, of course, you're watching this on YouTube as well. So thank you again, Lauren, and we'll talk to you guys soon. And cut. Thanks, guys.